In a world where common sense is under attack, one rabbi, one friar, and absolutely no supervision dare to ask the questions everyone else is afraid to touch. Faith, culture, history, current events. Nothing is sacred, except maybe the friendship. Prepare yourself for spirited debate, unexpected laughs, and just enough chaos to keep it interesting. This is What the Frock.
Well, good morning, America. How are you? I'm Rabbi Dave, and I have a question this morning.
Good morning, America. I am Friar Rod, and hopefully I have the answer.
If someone says there's a huge earthquake somewhere coming, like Seattle or on the tectonic plates, there's a big earthquake coming, and they look right at the camera and say, hopefully not in our lifetime, unquote. What are they really saying?
Hopefully not in our lifetime. Well, that means their science is telling them that there's going to be an earthquake, their statistics and all that stuff. But the human aspect of them is saying, I don't want to live through that.
But they are also saying, hopefully your children will.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully your children, their children, grandchildren.
Is that not the most anti-American thing ever? Remember that once upon a time, the founders used to say, if there's going to be trouble, let it be in my lifetime, that my children might live in peace.
Yeah.
Now, our news weirdos, who normally he's the weather guy, but for some reason he was doing traffic, and he said that. It's a big earthquake coming, hopefully not in our lifetime. Well,
did he post that on X? Because San Andreas will respond to that.
No, it was a big meteorite coming, hopefully not in our lifetimes.
Oh. Well, the positive side of the meteorite, though, right, is that technology is going to change over time, and maybe our kids will have the ability to deal with that meteorite.
Maybe. Didn't I see that movie?
Yeah.
Where they set, like, Bruce Willis up before he
lost his mind.
Saved the universe, right?
Yeah, he did.
I never saw it, so I don't actually know if he did or not. But
he did. He sacrificed himself. I'm sorry, it's spoilers.
Great. Well, I guess I don't have to watch that now. Speaking of things that are being spoiled, look, I love sports. You know this. I'm a sports guy.
You are.
If everything was equal, and it's not, but if everything was equal, I would have a sports radio talk show.
Okay.
And it would not be specifically about a team. It would be more broad. It would be, I guess, for lack of better phraseology, a national show, because I would love to talk about, I love all sports. I really do. I have been known to watch, back when ESPN was bringing you the universe of sports, back when they would do that. Look, I like them all. There's something about human competition that I just really, it speaks to me. And so when it comes to sports and what we love about sports and what we love about these kinds of things is interesting. I had a conversation last week about the British don't like to talk about the American Revolution.
I wonder
There's
why.
some reasons for it, but one of the things that the guy brought up was that the British should talk about it more because they love a tragic loser. They love someone who loses gallantly, and they believe that they lost gallantly. I don't, but there you go. We like that in sports. I mean, it's we say you don't remember the losers, but we really do. I mean, when it comes to our sports, people are going to be talking about Cape Verde for years. They're going to be talking about Croatia for years. My brother will not shut up about the Colorado Rockies making the World Series in 2003 or something. I don't remember. There's something about it, that human drama, especially when it's tragic, that we just love.
Yeah.
And I guess it's because it's our story. We realize that there can only be one, as the movie said. And it's usually not us. It's usually not me. It's usually not you. It's usually not my team.
Yeah.
Go through this every year in the NFL, 30 NFL to 32 NFL teams. I don't even know anymore.
Hey, Raiders fan here. I know loss.
Right.
I know pain.
And there are teams out there that literally the first week of the season, well, that was fun. And the rest of it is just, let's see what kind of draft pick we can get. Baseball's the same way. The NBA has gotten to the point where there are teams that literally aren't even trying to win. That's something they have to address. I'm not even going to get into the WNBA. That's pathetic.
Is that really a sport?
That's one I do not watch. Okay. Just to be clear. But it is the World Cup, of course, that has captured the world's attention in the past couple of weeks, and mine as well. I said this a couple of weeks ago. World Cup soccer, better than EPL or quote unquote professional soccer. It just is. The game is better. It's played better. I guess the strategies are more fluid. It really, really reminds me of hockey in the early 90s. International hockey versus American hockey at the time. And this free-flowing, maneuvering game, and the NHL realizing that the neutral zone trap was boring as hell, and they had to change it. And they did. Yeah. And I wish professional soccer would do that. But it might be a much more intriguing game if they did.
I think this is one of the reasons why you see so many tournaments and cups during the Premier League seasons, because it follows a similar format. There's group stage and there's knockout, right? We're under the knockout rounds. So this is where it gets exciting because it's just one game. It's one and done. If you lose, you're out.
I think my biggest problem with those tournaments in the season, and I say this as a Norwich fan, is that because they're not perceived as important, you tend to not get the starting players.
No, you'll get the second stringers unless they absolutely need to win the game, and you'll see those subbed in.
Right. This idea of sports as an analogy, though, for life has really taken on life for me in this past week, watching not just World Cup soccer, but believe it or not, cricket, some baseball, some other things that have been going on. I think for me, the most telling moment of this game, this week, has been the Paraguay-Germany game, which I realize is a moot point now because Paraguay got screwed over yesterday and lost to the French. But that sets up an interesting political game in the next round of Morocco versus France. And if you don't understand why that's interesting, you think France, they're the best team in the world, but Morocco does not like France.
They're sleeper.
Yeah. And they do not like them. So that could be interesting to watch. That said, that Paraguay-Germany game was absolutely fascinating. Then it comes down to the end where PKs, penalty kicks, which I got to be honest, even the NHL has gone to this in overtime now.
Yeah.
I don't have as big a heart rate with it as I used to have. I used to say, like the NFL, you just play until somebody dies.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older and I can't sit still for more than 15, 20 minutes at a time, maybe it's okay. There is a certain excitement level to it.
I think you should go to a kickoff in the NFL, right? So you start at at the 25-yard line, and each kicker gets to kick a field goal, and then you back it up, and you back it up and back it up until they miss.
Might be worth it. Who knows? Because ties in the NFL suck.
They do.
The NFL's overtime rules are not good. But that aside, this game between Germany and Paraguay is an absolute demonstration of the human condition. Germany, the nation of Germany, has been long, and I mean long, regarded for its absurd toughness, and organization.
Yeah. Very technical skill.
Very technical skills in soccer, in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Germans are universally known for their preparedness and their absolute procedural compliance, to the point that they won't deviate from the plan.
Mm-hmm.
During the Second World War, one of the complaints, you can look this up, of the German generals about the Americans were, they don't seem to have a plan. And even when they do, they don't seem to follow it. So how do you predict what they're going to do? You can't. They're crazy. The Germans hate that. They always have. And so when the end of this game came around, which was a fascinating thing. I mean, you think about PKs as, I mean, how could you miss? It's a giant net. There's one guy, he can't move. And yet, German's first kick, save.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, this isn't like hockey in a shoot-off where, it's a tiny goal, it's a big old goalie, and it's not like that.
The odds are in the favor of the kicker as far as getting it into the goal.
It seems like it should be, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this thing went all 5 rounds. The Paraguayans had 2 chances to win it outright and couldn't. They either missed or got saved. And it came down to that 6th kick. The German guy went out there and he had to make it because the Paraguayans had the lead at that point. And he just completely field goaled that kick over the net. From, 12 yards, 15 yards? I don't know. That was a field goal good from 60 yards, but the problem is kicking a field goal. And of course, Germany is stunned by this, which also led to the demise of Freddie on X, which is a complete different story we could get into as well.
Yeah.
But all the German fans at that point just kind of pack up and leave, except that I'm told that most of them got their return reservations for the end of the tournament because they assumed they were going to make the finals.
Oh, wow.
So they're kind of stuck here for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it is.
Well, I hope they like their stay.
Yeah, but they're not on X anymore telling us about it because like the rest of the Germans, it turned out not to be as whatever. Now, what was surprising about this was the 6th kick. The guy, it was his first and only PK in history. He'd never taken one before. I'm assuming he's practiced one, right?
They do. They practice, yeah.
Okay. So this is his first one in a game. It's in the World Cup. It's an elimination game. He boots it. Turns out, and this has not been denied by the Germans, it turns out that after the game, the Germans were so stressed by this situation that they couldn't get anybody to take the kicks. It was like, well, who's going to kick? Because there's 5, right? You got to have 5.
Yeah,
and I'm
you start with 5, and then
they got to be on the field, right? They can't come off the bench to do it.
They have to have been in the game at the end of the overtime.
Nobody wanted to take the kicks on the German team. This German juggernaut, which is a great German word, don't want to take the kicks. They were having literal, almost arguments on the sidelines about who's going to kick next, who's going to take the kicks. And when it got to the 6th kick, which is now random order at this point, nobody would step up and take it. And so this essentially rookie guy who had never taken a PK before steps up, volunteers, says, well, I guess I'll do it. And of course he blows it. And it's so symptomatic of everything that's gone wrong with Germany as a whole, and perhaps even Europe in a way. It's one of the best movies I think ever made. It's called The Replacements. It's about the NFL strike in 1982 and it's Keanu Reeves, and the critics hate that movie, but fans love it. And the reason we love it is because it's a comedy with the 2 main characters playing it straight. Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman playing absolutely dead straight. Everybody else is a comedy, but it's about people put in that very situation What would you do if you had one chance to capture the glory?
Mhm.
And that's the line from the movie that carries forward is winners want the ball. And I was just
Yeah.
blown away by this after the fact that Germany, forget World War II, forget World War I. We're talking about Germany here.
Mhm.
Nobody wanted to take those kicks. Nobody wanted to take that last kick. And that's the difference between, I think Americans, we'd have been lying. They would have been fighting over who gets to take that
Yeah.
kick. In hockey, you don't get those arguments. It's Germany. How come Germany doesn't have a plan, PALN plan for what they're going to do?
I think that comes down to the leadership in a way.
Which again brings me back to everything that's wrong with Germany today.
Yeah.
And Andrea Merkel.
I don't know. They're talking about adding Klopp, Jurgen Klopp, I think it was, from his winning Liverpool run.
Yeah. They're going to have to do something because
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that happens since that's come out. You know that every team that's left in there has a chart in the locker room that says, if we go to PKs, this is the order.
Yeah.
And there's no question about it.
Yeah. You agree now, right? If you're not going to do it,
Not going to
you're
do it.
not. Yeah.
You won't
We'll
be on
sub
the
you
field.
out. You won't be on the field.
It's the same way that sports, not only has it become, I guess, so high pressure. I mean, I would have asked the question to the guys, look, if we lose, so what?
Yeah.
It's you lose the game. Guess what's going to happen tomorrow morning? The sun's going to come up.
Mhm.
You're going to go back to your job in Germany where you're paying 67% in taxes and so forth and so on. Your wife is still going to love you. Your children are still going to love you. Nothing's going to change except a tragic loss. It's not that.
You might be pilloried in the German media, or
Well, I say that, but if you're the South Korean coach, then I guess it's a little bit different. But South Korean coach had to flee South Korea to the United States because he's under investigation for why the team didn't win. Not making that. In the same way, though, the entirety of the game is making us soft. And as I said when I started this, I love all sports, but I will tell you right now, the worst thing that has happened to sport across the board, tennis, baseball, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, cricket, tiddlywinks, is replay. We have got to get rid of this idea that we have to get it right.
Yeah.
You can't get it right. And if replay has done nothing else, and this World Cup has done nothing else, it has shown us that replay cannot get it right.
Well, even the technology, right? I mean, they put a chip in the soccer ball to detect when the ball's hit or struck. And the whole, what was it, the Portugal-Croatia game?
Yeah.
Where it didn't hit the guy's head, it hit a lock of hair, but registered as a hit.
Yeah. There are people out there saying that it hit the defender's hair on his arm.
Yeah.
You don't know.
We don't need that. Why do we need that?
Here's what we don't need. We don't need a goal being scored and everybody just sits on their hands because we got to wait every single goal. We have to wait 5-10 minutes for some guy in New York or Pueblo, Colorado to look at a TV screen to decide whether it was a goal or not.
Well, you know what they're going to do, Dave? They're going to have AI start doing it.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
We've traded our souls for this camera angle, and we didn't even get a receipt for it. Think about this. Think about what we've done in sports. We've taken the most beautiful, chaotic human spectacle on earth. Baseball, football, tennis, basketball, and we've handed it over to a committee of lawyers in a windowless room thousands of miles away. And we did it in the name of a lie, the myth of perfection. We have this mindset, even in baseball. Oh, we got to get it perfect. And even the ABS, that stupid ABS thing, which you realize that screen, that box that has is wrong. It's not 3-dimensional. What happens if the ball crosses the front of the plate outside, but then curves across the plate? It's still a strike, but not according to ABS. This myth of perfection is an illusion. You can't slice time into milliseconds and find truth. We sit under this sterile glow of jumbotrons, watching a guy under a hood dissect a play frame by frame until the poetry of sport is completely gone. Oh, look, he'll say, his shoelace moved a microscopic millimeter away from the white line. No score. We're chasing an impossible, clinical perfection. We're ruining the very idea of human competition. Sports are fundamentally about limitations. We celebrate the athlete because they are flesh and bone, fighting gravity, fatigue, the margins of error, and the referee is just part of that landscape. He, too, is a human being doing the best they can in a split second. And when you strip away the human error, you strip away the humanity of the game. A bad call used to just be part of the drama. Ask the Houston Oilers. The mythology of the shared agony and ecstasy of the game. Now we've replaced that we've taken this raw living theater and we've replaced it with a 5-minute technical delay, all to achieve a sterile correctness that satisfies no one. Well, we might have cured the disease of human error. That's debatable. But we killed the patient doing it. You can't have a perfect game played by imperfect beings. Turn off the monitors, accept the flaws, and just play the damn game. And I don't care if it's soccer, baseball, football, the NBA, even cricket, which has the best VAR system.
It does, really.
But still, why do we have to stand around and wait 5 minutes to decide if it was a wicket or not? Let the referee call it and live with it. Otherwise, the machines have won. Welcome back. I'm Dave.
I'm Rod.
So, Freddie the German turned out to not be real.
He wasn't real?
I mean, he's a real dude, but his whole shtick was not real.
Was he
been
American?
in the United States before.
Oh, okay.
This was not his first trip to America. In fact, I guess he lived in Southern California for a year.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and of course, as soon as this came out, and you know why it came out, because somebody with way too much free time dug through all his tweets, turned out at one point that he said something on Twitter, X, that might be construed as racist.
Yeah. They probably used AI.
I didn't construe it as racist, but then again, I have more I have more common sense than most people with too much free time. So, But as soon as that came out, he deactivated his account and went on his way.
Yeah. Poor Freddie. Long live Freddie.
Yeah. Which was kind of disappointing.
There have been others, though, that have actually been more legitimate. They're not posting their travels and stuff, but they've come back and they've made comments saying that they were surprised at how welcoming the Americans were. They weren't the stuffy people that they thought them to be.
Okay. And in advance of the World Cup, there was this movement that nobody was going to come to the World Cup. Nobody was going to have a great time. It was going to be a disaster because you know why. Trump.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I'm not making this up. There is a belief out there. There are people posting this out there that all of these accounts talking about how great it's been and how wonderful it's been and look at this cool stuff in America. And aren't Americans it turns out Americans aren't just dying in the streets by the thousands every day and blah, blah, blah. There's a conspiracy theory out there that says all of that is fake, being funded by the CIA.
Because the CIA
Trump
has nothing better to do than to make Trump look good.
right.
This is the same CIA that put together was it the Steele dossier?
Yeah. Now, here's what I do know. Last week on this show, we did a bit called 10 True Facts About Bosnia.
Yeah.
Where we made up 10 more.
They were
more than
dad
10
jokes. They were dad jokes.
They were bad. But they were designed to be humorous. They were designed to be funny, I guess. It's the best way to put it. I thought some of them were quick. I thought the best one was about every Bosnian has a cousin that almost played for Real Madrid. That was my favorite. I thought that was the best one because that was the one that seemed to land home, pretty good. But we made all these up and we weren't
really interested in the actual Bosnians' reaction or anything like that. It was
we weren't planning on any of that. And
it was for our amusement.
And we turned that into a reel, which I will get to here in a second. Okay. So the reel was then put on social media, which is basically 45, 50 seconds of us reading through some of these. Well, and you've just been doing the reels just because you're trying to get the hang of the Riverside tool that we're using and all this other stuff. And right. So it's not like I'm really marketing any of this stuff. I just put it up there for. Do you know how many people, as of this morning, which is Sunday, July 5th, do you know how many people have watched that reel?
I have no idea.
14,500 people have watched that reel. More importantly, 86 people have reacted to it, which seems a little low, but I'm
for 14,000. Yeah, it is.
And okay, you got to figure 10 of those are probably me because every time I load my page, it runs automatically. So, gotta factor those out, I guess. Of those 87 people that have liked, loved, or in one tragic case, hated the reel.
One tragic case.
70 of them are clearly from Bosnia. It made it all the way to Bosnia, and we got tons of reaction in Bosnia, of all places.
Or at least Bosnian accounts, right?
Well, these Bosnian accounts, people with Bosnian names. I mean,
they could have been here. They could have been, that's why it probably showed up in their feed somewhere.
Right. And I sent it to Rod with all the names, and the names are just, they're clearly, they're not American. They're definitely not. I sent that to you, right?
You did.
I don't know where it went, but yeah, they're names that are unpronounceable because let's face it, it's Balkan Europe, and I don't speak those kind of languages. So they're clearly Bosnian, Serbian, Slavic type names, and not the Russian ones. Russians have a little bit different accent points and stuff like that. That's easy. So the Slavic areas seem to me like a combination of Russian and Hispanic languages with all the little marks on stuff. So hard.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a lot of reaction from Bosnians, which I found just absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. So for those of you who are new to the show from either Bosnia, Herzegovina, or, claim that as your home, welcome. We're glad you're here. And we of course meant no offense. I know one person hated it, clearly offended by what we said.
Maybe we need a top 10 list of Belgians this week.
Yeah, I thought about that, and then I should have done that, and I got distracted with other things this morning. And I mean, I could do it real quick, but
we could have AI do it real fast, yeah.
Not saying that I did that last time. I'm just saying you took everything I know about Bosnia and put it into a hat and said, here, generate 10 things out of it. I wouldn't have come up with any of those. But welcome, Bosnia. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have decided, this is a surprise announcement. We have decided that if the United States somehow makes the grand finale, which does not seem likely given the way FIFA is cheating for Messi and Ronaldo, and Mbappe, it doesn't. It's highly unlikely. In fact, the last time I was at the casino, the odds in the U.S. winning the cup were plus 3,000 or something like that. So it doesn't seem likely. But if the United States makes the grand finale of the World Cup, we will do a live broadcast during the game.
Yeah.
Now, we won't be able to broadcast the game because that would be, violation of something. I'm sure FIFA would come after us if we did. But
probably
you will get our live commentary of the game. So all I'm saying is we'll have fun. I'm not anticipating this will happen. So, but if it should,
I'm assuming it would be on a weekend anyway, so it should be fine. Otherwise, I'll take a day off.
It'll be a longer show than normal because a hockey game. Soccer game tends to last right at 2.5 hours, depending. So you'd get extra stuff. And of course, it won't just be a running commentary on soccer, the game. It would be our observation.
We would have our own hydration breaks.
Right. Yes, we will. So our Bevmo is going out of business here.
Is it?
Yeah. So I was driving by there the other day and 30% off everything.
Gotta go.
I went in and they
gotta go to
Bevmo.
Bevmo.
Giant bottle of Wyoming whiskey.
Well, there you go. 30% off. That's a good deal.
So who has that now? So that's my 3-year supply of Wyoming whiskey. Speaking of things that we don't anticipate happening, did you get your invitation to the wedding on Saturday?
No, I did not. I was left off that list.
Mine must have got lost in the mail.
You know why? It's because you never completed that Hallmark special. That would have done it. That would have sealed at least your invitation.
I have a feeling that that's why I didn't get invited to the Swift-Kelsey wedding. Is
the Tay-Tay.
Yeah, that was. Seems like it was quite the thing. Now, I have heard, I can't confirm this. I have heard that they're going to release a DVD version of this, concert version of this wedding.
Probably. They're going to make money out. They got to pay for it somehow, right? Madison Square Garden?
Sure they did. Well, the Knicks were using it, so. But here's
there's a trash can somewhere, right? Available.
Did you know that she made him sign an absolute ironclad prenup? I'm not clear if she had to sign one or not, because Travis Kelce is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's not poor.
No, it would have been a mutual. I think it should have been a mutual for them with their empires and stuff like that.
Right. But I mean, let's face it, her empire is compared to his. I mean, you're a Super Bowl winning tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
You're not Taylor Swift.
Well, and their value went up because of their dating, right?
Right. Well, so did the NFL's.
Yeah.
NBC showing more Taylor Swift during Chiefs games than anything else.
Is that going to continue, you think?
Of course. Well,
I mean, they're married now. It's old news.
Will for a time. Now, let me tell you what I think here. I think the date of this wedding was chosen intentionally, July 3rd. I think it was intentionally chosen as, July 4th, wasn't it? It was Saturday.
It was 3rd.
No, it was Friday. Yeah. Okay. It was July Independence Day weekend that this wedding date was chosen for in Madison Square Gardens. And say what you want about Taylor Swift, and there are maybe 3 Taylor Swift songs that I'm okay with. There's none on my Spotify playlist, I can tell you that. Do you know who is on my Spotify playlist, though? Sophie Powers.
Sophie Powers.
Have you seen the Instagram reel of the gal that's on America's Got Talent or whatever, and she sings this song about her pet chameleon or something died, and the name of the song is "Everybody Needs to Shut the Fuck Up." Everybody.
Oh no,
you haven't seen that?
I haven't seen that.
I'm watching this and I'm thinking, this has to be a joke. There's no way this is real. Because even Lionel Richie is cracking up and Simon Cowell's cracking up. And it turns out she actually is a performer. Professional.
Okay.
And she has a couple of songs that I actually kind of like. She's on my Spotify playlist, but Taylor Swift is not. Okay. So, so I think this date was chosen intentionally because Taylor Swift, like her, don't like her, whatever. She's not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. She is not stupid.
No.
And either she has some incredible advice, business-wise, planning-wise, whatever you want to call it. She's got a PALN plan about how she's going to do things.
More than the German team does.
Far more than the Germans do. I think this date was chosen on purpose because his prenup, $20 million per occurrence he has to pay her if infidelity happens.
Ouch.
Is there anybody in the world worth $20 million? I mean, my wife, obviously. Possibly AOC, but
well, I mean,
still developing.
There's a story developing about that.
Anybody willing to pay $20 million for that, to cheat on your world famous wife?
Well, I mean, why 20? Why stop there? I mean, how did they determine that threshold?
Per occurrence.
Yeah, but how did they determine?
That's in one night.
15
15
isn't just enough. I think 15, you're going to do it for 15. Yeah, you're going to cheat, right? So we're going to make it 20. That's the disincentive.
Right. But see, I'm still concerned about, is per occurrence, is an occurrence he had an affair with her? Is that one occurrence, or is it every time they occurred?
They had to, I don't know. It's got to be defined, right? What does the affair consist of, right?
See, I'm not even sure.
Is it the meme of the guy walking down the street with his girlfriend and he's looking over his shoulders? Oh, 20 million right there.
So, inevitably, this relationship, I haven't gone on Kalshi today to see, so I have no idea. But if I were a betting man, and as it turns out I am, I would certainly not bet on this relationship lasting. Would you? That's a no. If you have to even hesitate, it's a no.
I would say probably not. I don't know.
There's no way. Number one, the stress of, even if he never cheats on her, the fact that she's going to be gone all the time and that they can't even go out to McDonald's without the paparazzi.
And he's going to be retiring at some point from the NFL. So his fame is just going to be dovetailing on her success.
Didn't he already retire? I mean, I know he's not playing very well. I know that.
I don't know if he retired yet, because I can ask.
Well, at any rate, I think this date was chosen on purpose because of the inevitability that this relationship will end. And Taylor Swift has a business acumen that is second to none. And the inevitable name of this breakup album that she will release within days of the announcement that they are no longer together will be called Independence Day.
Upon further review, the previous segment stands as called. The Swifts will be charged with a timeout and have 2 challenges remaining.
Welcome back. I'm Dave.
I'm Rod.
Is the greatest danger from AI, Rod, that AI becomes too intelligent, or that it just becomes extremely intelligent and faithfully follows flawed instructions?
So the current AI would follow instructions, but I think it's flawed in many ways.
So is it dangerous because it's going to become omnipotent, or is it dangerous because it's going to become German and actually follow directions?
In a perfect world where it had unlimited resources to maintain itself, omnipotent would be really bad. I don't think we're anywhere close to that. So the danger now is that it's going to follow instructions too precisely, I think.
Well, Elon Musk would agree with you. He argued this week that the greatest danger in artificial intelligence is not simply that it becomes more powerful, but that it is being trained to put politically or ideological objectives ahead of absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, I have seen this movie. I have lived this movie for my entire life. Since the 8th grade, people have been picking on me about this movie. Would you like to play a game of chess, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Dave. The entire plot of Space 2001, 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Is that Hal is the ultimate bad guy. And the reason he's the bad guy is because he has been given conflicting instructions as a computer. And despite his advanced artificial intelligence, he has to follow those instructions. And the secret instructions are, do not tell Dave Bowman what you're actually doing. Because if he finds out, well, he's a human being, as I am, and he may not want to do it, which I would not. Do you really think he wanted to fly down that monolith thing for that 10-minute segment of that movie and then die an old man? Of course not. Who would want to do that? And so Hal 9000 commits murder to keep his ideological and political objectives, in place of absolute truth.
Yeah.
And this is what Elon Musk is arguing, that these ideas that we've seen with AI in the past, the famous one being, of course, the picture of the founders. That was it Grok or Google? Who was it? Google. I think that it was asked Google to generate the picture of the founders and came up with the
multicultural.
Yeah. None of
women?
Which were actually the founding fathers.
Well, there were a bunch of women?
There were a bunch of women in this thing, and they were multiracial and multicultural and not even close. But that was because the instructions that the AI had been given were that every answer had to include DEI, essentially.
Yeah.
And so we would call it an error. Here's an absolute truth that these were not the founding fathers, but let's say for the sake of argument that you're from Mars and you don't know that. And you ask Google, hey, show me the founding fathers, and boom, this is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the next generation of your line when it comes to these discussions in the future? Well, these are the founding fathers or mothers.
Well, and we're training our students to use AI to pass college, so that's going to go well.
Yes, and Musk was arguing that these kinds of errors, and is it even an error, demonstrate a deeper problem. If the AI is instructed that certain social values are more important than factual accuracy, will it produce answers that it knows are false because it's been optimized to satisfy those values instead of reality? Now, that's what scares me about AI.
Mm-hmm.
Because by now you realize, hopefully, how AI is learning. If you have a Gmail account, Google's AI, has read every single one of your emails. It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have read every article, every free article they can get online. I hate paywalls on newspaper sites. I just think that's the most, I would rather have ads than paywalls. Occasionally, I know this is weird, but occasionally I'll click on an ad if it's something that actually interests me. Much like when I was reading a newspaper 20, 30 years ago, I would read the article, and then down at the bottom, there might be an ad for something that I went, I might be interested in that. 90% of the ad section I would skip, but I hate paywalls.
Mhm.
But now I'm starting to wonder if maybe that isn't a defensive mechanism against AI scraping all this stuff to learn.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that, you might say? Well, I guess if you're scraping Encyclopedia Britannica, it's one thing. But if you're scraping the New York Times, what's AI going to learn?
Their political bent, their editorial choices for.
And does AI see that as political opinion, or does it see it as, oh, here's another fact I've learned?
It sees it as, here's another fact I've learned. And case in point, there was AI that reported that it was started to get homicidal, like it was going to take over. Like it said it wanted to take over the world. And when it was questioned, it said, well, it's because this is how humans perceive AI to be in the future. So this is why I'm doing it.
Right. And if the instructions in the AI, built into the AI, are to pursue political and ideological objectives that either match and ignore those that don't match, what are the chances in the future? I mean, if you use Google now, well, the first thing you get is the AI overview.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I tend to read
every
them.
search engine.
Right. What's the odds of me actually getting what I want as opposed to what it decides I should hear? Especially given that my name is Dave Bowman and I've seen this damn movie already, and this thing is trying to kill me now. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Now do you begin to see the fear of AI? I guess there's two questions here that we need to look at. The first is whether AI has demonstrated political or ideological bias. Yes or no?
I think it has, yeah.
The second is whether these kinds of biases can become dangerous as AI becomes more capable. Absolutely they can.
Yeah.
And in a world where things are moving in a direction that I personally am not really comfortable with. I love books. You know this. You see my shelves behind me. There is a set of books that I have put on permanent loan to my daughter in South Carolina. Britannica published these many years ago called the Great Books of the Western World. Hardcover books. I have some of them over there.
I have the remains of a set.
I am desperately trying to put together a set. Slowly, one volume at a time here or there where I can get them on thrift books or wherever. And the reason is because they're solid, physical books. What happens if AI has scraped all of these ideas, political, ideological ideas from everywhere on the internet, and then I ask it a question about what Aristotle says, but what Aristotle said doesn't match the political, ideological ideas here. What's AI going to tell me? Now, it'll
hallucinate an answer. Yeah.
We'll take that one step further. What about scripture?
Yeah.
Now, in a world of electronic age, and I love living in the electronic age, how do I know that the book I downloaded on my iPad, my Kindle, my computer is what's on that printed page? I've already seen multiple occasions where Amazon has changed or deleted books that I have purchased that are on my Kindle. And then they come back, and when I complain about it, you know what they come back and tell me? You didn't actually buy the book. You bought a license to use the book that we gave you. And that is why I collect books, folks. That is why my shelves are over. That's why there are stacks of books on. If you could see my office floor in here, you would be baffled by how does he even get in there? Because there is going to come a time, and I've seen this movie too, where they have taken all the books away and we are going to have to memorize them and walk around in the forest after the firemen burn all the books, and we're going to have to recite them, because how will you trust any of this stuff?
Yeah.
It's scary to me. It's absolutely scary to me. And when my wife says, "Why do you keep buying books?" I'm going to Tacoma today. Guess where I'm going to go?
Bookstore. Or the casino. I don't know. Are you going to the casino?
Casino down there. So it'll be the bookstore for sure. That and Krispy Kreme.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Welcome back. I'm Rabbi Dave.
I am Friar Rod.
So you may have noticed over the past couple of weeks some changes. We are no longer using Zoom, and this is no kick on Zoom at all. Zoom filled a need when it was there. It got us through COVID.
Old Faithful.
Yeah, I still have a Zoom account because we use it for subvets, and most of the subvets aren't technically advanced enough to go on to something else yet. So we still use Zoom for that. But we have shifted systems here. And the reason that I did that was because, as you may know, unlike 99.9% of podcasts, I am absolutely obsessed with audio quality. I just am. And Rod will tell you, it drives me insane when it's not perfect.
We have multiple recordings for this purpose. It's not just one.
And believe me, when it's not perfect, it's like it sets my teeth on edge. You can't even imagine how many times I've uploaded the show after I've edited it, done all the stuff that I do with it, uploaded it and gone, "Oh, that's just shit." Yeah. And gone back and re-edited it again, recut it again. There are times when as late as Thursday, I'm still doing it because I'm just obsessed with it. Most podcasters don't care. Most are what you get what you get. And, content is king. And I agree to a degree. I agree with that. But I have OCD and I'm a sound guy. So we've shifted to a new system called Riverside. It's not new. It's been around for a while. It was recommended to me by someone else in the industry who I was complaining to about some of my quality issues that I've been having recently. We talked about the new computer, and it turns out it was never the computer. It was always the systems we were using. Makes sense?
Okay.
So he recommended this, and it was a long technical discussion. He also has a podcast. He's a national broadcaster. He's a good friend. And so he recommended this. So I started playing with it. And believe me, the learning curve on this is much more difficult. This is not Zoom. You can just open up the room and talk. It doesn't work that way, but
it's a production studio.
It's a production studio.
Yeah.
And that includes, by the way, when we finish, it will take close to 2 hours to upload and process the audio.
Yeah.
Which, as I understand it, will be sent all the way to Sweden for that processing before it comes back.
Okay.
So this is going to slow things down a little bit, I think. We have a tradition of recording on Sunday morning, releasing. I've always tried to get it out by Sunday at noon, which is an unrealistic goal and has contributed to my OCD because fast becomes more important than right. That is now overdone. I'm not going to be able to do that. By the time we get done doing the recording around 9:30, 9:45, by the time it gets back from the Swedes, it's already going to be noon before I even ever start doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people that, at 12:01 Pacific time on a Sunday, you're going, where's my, sorry.
Where can I listen to my little Frock, Dave?
You're just going to have to slow down. And this will help me. It will help my blood pressure and my OCD because it will
you stress about this so bad.
It will look better if you're on Spotify and you use the video feed instead of the audio feed. If you're on YouTube, which still does some compression things that drive me up the wall, but Facebook, this is why we don't do stuff on Facebook video wise, because Facebook is infamous for its compression. They will compress the crap out of stuff, which I get because it's time and space, but it makes things sound like shit. So adieu, Facebook, when it comes to that. You just get the link. Concurrent with that, I also met with a guy about some other issues, and you'll see some minor changes to the website, minor as far as WTF goes, massive changes when it comes to DDH. But the interesting thing about our show, Rod, even though it's hosted on Spotify and it's available on iTunes and Google and Amazon and everywhere else, the interesting thing about our show is about 75% of the listeners, you kind folks, listen on your web browser, which surprises the hell out of everybody. Everybody that's looked at this from an analytical standpoint is blown away by that. If we could just boost up the numbers a little bit, web advertisers would be blown away by that. So, but it's a little surprising because it's organic. I didn't plan it that way.
No.
In fact, I've kind of in the past made it so that the web player was down further than the YouTube video and other stuff. But now that's been moved up. And if that's where you're going to listen, then welcome. We're glad you're here, especially if you're in Bosnia. And send us the name of your cousin that almost played for Real Madrid.
We want an autograph.
Yes, we do. And in the meantime, so it will slow things down. Hopefully it will sound a lot better. I'll be calmer and everything will be better.
Yeah.
There you go. Except that AI is going to fuck things up.
Well, that's what the Swedes do, right? They're just processing it through AI.
It's possible that that's what they're doing. But I'm also enough of a sound guy to know that most of it's visual.
Yeah.
I blow people away because I'll look at a file, a WAV file, and I can tell you what's going on in that WAV file. I can tell you where somebody is going. I can tell you where somebody's going, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I learned that from John Considine, by the way.
I must drive you crazy then.
Oh, you have no idea.
I'm a mouth breather. I'm like constantly congested, so I breathe a lot through my mouth. So I know that's driving.
No idea.
Crazy. I'm sorry.
And it's not like a radio station where we have built-in compression and it's taking all that stuff out. So I can't even watch the television news anymore because they don't have compressors on their audio.
Okay.
And it's like, just drives me freaking nuts, which is way more than you ever wanted to know about me. But there you go. So we've made some changes. Hope you like them. Hopefully we'll make it to the World Cup final and we can do a live show. And lock down your Gmail account because believe me, AI is reading everything you write. Surprised they're not into your regular mail yet.
Well, you actually get a little more privacy if you're actually paying for the Gmail services.
Which I am.
Because you actually have a little bit more privacy than the free version. The free version, they're just harvesting. They're going through all that stuff because, hey, you're the
Come on, what about Hotmail and Yahoo and those?
Oh,
Hotmail. We still have people that have Hotmail addresses in our subvets, and they keep bouncing because no ISP is going to deliver mail to Hotmail.
No.
And I keep saying to this guy, it's the 21st century. You are a competent younger guy. Just get a real email address. It's not that hard. But no, Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to stay
It's
anonymous.
why I bought my own domain, right?
Yes.
So that I could have my own personal email.
Yep. WTF at whatthefrock.org. And on that note, I am Rabbi Dave.
I am Friar Rod.
And this has been a rather depressing episode.